Good afternoon, you guys. I hope everyone is doing well on this wonderful Thursday afternoon. I don't want to bore you very long, but I do want to encourage you today. Do not confuse God's desires for your life over fleshly desires. There is a huge difference. We all know that everything that God does, Satan will try to come and duplicate it. In that duplication, it will seem very, very real. It will seem as though it is from God. But do not confuse what God has placed in you over your flesh. And oftentimes we, go with the flesh and those desires because we're in control. And 9 times out of 10, those fleshly desires do not last. They're only temporary. And then when they don't work out the way we intended for them to work out, we get angry and we get upset and we blame God. Got to blame somebody, right? Instead of taking responsibility for ourselves. I'm not here fussing. I'm fussing at myself as well, y'all. But I have to keep it all the way real with y'all because you have to know the importance of the season we are in. I have said it over and over. It is imperative that we stay in alignment with God and we are truly, truly stand under the obedience of His instruction. The desires that God will bring to us are those that are like, wow, this is truly what I want. It's leading us somewhere. It's going to be beneficial to us where we're going and the plan that God has for our life. God will confirm it. And God will confirm it through His word, through His people, through dreams and visions, however He decides to, but it will come with confirmation. And you will have that knowing in your spirit that it is from God. You have to go to God for yourself. People can speak words over your life, but you still have to be able to go to God and confirm. Because how many false prophets do we have out here in this time, y'all? Satan will do all that he can to steer you away from the desires that God already have in place. And sometimes we fall for it. We'll take those temporary, desires, the worldly desires, and we'll deal with it and we'll try to fix them to look like the desires from God. That means we have to posture our hearts to be in line with God at all times for us to know truly which is His desire and what is the desires that are coming from Satan, which is the flesh. Because I'm going to tell you, if God told us in His word that if we delight in Him, that He would give us the desires of our heart, that's because He planned on fulfilling it. He didn't give us those desires for it to just go to waste or because He just didn't have nothing else to do. He plans on fulfilling them. But we must delight ourselves in Him. And in delighting in Him, that means we're bringing great pleasure to Him. To please Him greatly. So as long as we're doing what we're supposed to do, God is going to make that happen. Listen, we can sit and we can think about the story of Sarah. Sarah desired to have a child. And I'm sure it was not her desire to wait until she was 90-something years old to do so. But because that was a desire she had, she waited, she waited, she waited. And then she just figured, hey, God ain't going to do it. So she sent Abraham to go lay with Hagar. And when he did it and a baby came, She felt some type of way. Listen to what I'm saying to y'all. She felt some type of way. But then when God spoke and said, by this time next year, you will be holding your son, she laughed. But when it happened, all glory went to God. But see, that's what I'm saying. Even now, just because we plan to graduate high school and graduate college, stack our paper, live our best life, and by the time we're 25, 30 years old, we're going to have our kids, be married and have our kids. Life doesn't always work the way we plan it. Just because you're 50 years old or almost 50 years old, if God promised you and put that desire in you, just because you didn't have it at 25 or you didn't have it before 30, does not mean that that desire does not still stand. We just can't give up on it. We lose hope. We just don't even believe it. We're like, okay, well, I'm 50. I'm almost 50. I didn't have a kid. Maybe that wasn't God's desire. No, where is your heart? How can God, make you responsible over a little person's life when you can't even stay in alignment with him and follow his instructions? Come on, let's keep it real. How can he trust you to raise and instruct a small person under him and his will if you grow impatient because you're desiring this at a specific time? We can't operate on God's time. Now, if God did not give you that desire, then yes, move on from it. But whatever desire you have in you, God plans to fulfill it. Whether or not it was fulfilled, at the time you were thinking, or whether or not it was fulfilled at the time you wasn't expecting. You just pausing right now. It's coming. You just don't pause. Some people just be like, well, didn't happen. It wasn't in God's will. The doctor said this, the doctor said that. Who you gonna believe? But yet we'll run out here to these worldly desires because we see everybody else doing it. And God is saying, that's not the desire I have for you. That's not going to benefit you in the long run. That's only going to scratch that itch right now. Because you want it right now. You want God to move right now. God ain't getting ready to do it. He don't operate in feelings. He done already wrote your story from start to finish. He's not going to change what he's already written just because you don't like it. And it's okay. You don't have to like it. But stand on it. You got to remember, we live in this world, but we are not of the world. The world tell you got to do this makeup. You got to, wear the wigs or the eyelashes. You got to, lose the weight now. Everybody getting the surgeries and taking, medication and stuff to lose this weight. Not saying anything is wrong with it if you want to be healthier. But if you're doing it because that's what the world wants, God said, where is your mind frame and your heart at? Why is you really doing it? I love you the way that you are. You don't have to transform for me to bless you the way I'm trying to bless you. You don't have to do all of this to get to where I'm taking you, but to be you. I want you to see you in all of this because I'm God. I'm going to do it. If I said it, it has to take place. And you are not feeling this desire by happenstance. It's because I placed it there. And if I place it there, that means I intend on fulfilling it. Don't give up on the promise, y'all. Just because you ain't seen it yet, just remember you're at a pause. It's coming. You're just at a pause. So don't confuse God's desires for you over the desires of the world. You guys have a good day.